San Diego, United States, 1935-36, California Pacific International Exposition. They would try it again, another 2-year exposition 20 years after the first, with the Panama, California Exposition in 1915-1916. San Diego was attempting to jumpstart its economy during the Depression, an idea many cities had in the United States at the time, adding to the proliferation of fairs during the 1930s, just at a time when the Bureau of International Expositions was getting started on their sanctioning route. San Diego 1935-36 was not sanctioned, unlike the first truly sanctioned event that same year in Brussels. There are some that contest the notion that the fair was international, although it was in a nominal sense.
California's traditional hospitality, handed down for generations from the gracious days of the Spanish dons, is beckoning millions of guests to San Diego's California Pacific International Exposition. From every part of the Americas, north, south, and central, they come. And like the hostess of old, San Diego has outdone herself to provide gaiety, cultural adventures, fine music, beautiful architecture, modern industrial displays, and plenty of joyous, carefree fun. The dark-eyed flower girl, who bewitches us into buying an exotic tropical bloom for our buttonhole, says, "Muchas gracias, senor." And her merry smile costs us nothing. Balboa Park, scene of the exposition, boasts 1,000 graceful trees, and set like a white gem in a deep green mounting. Isn't this perfect? Hello, here's a young Balboa. He got his fare ticket on condition that he'd keep an eye on his young brother Tommy. Hello, will you look at that? Now, who would ever have thought of using this beautiful V8 fountain in the Ford building patio for a rendezvous with an ice cream cone? There is music, grateful shade, and inviting benches. Outside, in the great Ford Bowl, symphony orchestras, choirs, and choruses give series of concerts, and artists present recitals daily on the new electronic organ. What's that hubbub? My gracious, it's the Midway, and what a Midway! What a riot of color and noise. There's everything here that you've ever seen, and some more that you haven't. Come on along to the Midway. Never mind how old you are. You'll be 10 years younger by the time we get through. Well, 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 here's our old friend Tommy with the ice cream cone. And he still has to put in a few more licks. No wonder these youngsters try to make everything at the fair last as long as possible. There's never been anything just like it before, and may never be again. For it combines a nostalgic old world charm and color with the newest in this hustling modern world of ours. Here is a vacation opportunity such as you may never find again. Drive through the national parks and scenic wonders of the far west to this sparkling, colorful fiesta at San Diego. An exposition that is a dedication to California's yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And a toast to the continuation of an American epic on the Pacific coast that will be written large in the history of the nation as the years march on.
The fair was once again held in Balboa Park, using some of the same structures that were built for the previous incarnation. Others built in between, such as the Natural History Museum, was the Palace of Natural History in 1935. Only a few additional exhibits were added for the fair from the Civilian Conservation Corps. The Museum of Man had been built in between as well. It would become the Palace of Fine Arts at the exposition, even hosting Rembrandt's Portrait of an Old Lady in 1936. There were international sections in the Palace of Fine Arts representing Italian, Spanish, Mexican, and Far East art, plus art from England, Germany, France, and America. Historian's Perspective. Richard Amaro. Quote, they, 1915-16 and 1935-36, were not truly international fairs. Government participation was stronger in 1935-36 as part of Roosevelt's attempt to revitalize a depressed economy. Prominent figures attended during the first years of both fairs, but declined considerably during the second years. San Diego was not a rich city, scarcely able to afford keeping the exposition alive after its formal ending. It yet succeeded in perpetuating museums, which have proliferated so that they now occupy almost the entire former exposition plant. Architecturally and symbolically, the city and I are still struggling over the meaning of the exposition. How much do we owe Mexico and Spain, and is there a way of showing our awareness of our debt? The second exposition was so much a part of the 1930s movement that it gets lost in the blur. Certainly, the Chicago Century of Progress, the Dallas Centennial, and the New York and San Francisco fairs were most sensational and popular. Thank you for watching our video. We would like to take a moment to say hello to all our new subscribers. No matter whether you are new or have been with us since the beginning, we thank you for watching and spending your time with us. We look forward to heading into the future and growing the channel even further, and we hope you come along with us.